Welcome to Mavs Report Live right here on 105.3 The Fan. My name is Kevin Gray, Mavericks Insider for 105.3 The Fan. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to subscribe to 105.3 The Fan here on YouTube. Appreciate you joining me here on Mavs Report Live as we get you ready for the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Golden State Warriors in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. Can Luka Doncic and company avoid elimination once again? Luka Doncic already and his Mavericks 3-0 this postseason in elimination games, where Luka Doncic has averaged over 38 points per game in 5 career elimination games for the Dallas Mavericks. He looks to do so and have another big performance tonight as they look to avoid getting out of the Western Conference Finals in 5 games at the hands of the Golden State Warriors. If you are in our 105.3 The Fan YouTube chat room, make sure you hit the like button on the video for 105.3 The Fan, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and give me a follow on Twitter at Kevin Gray Sports. Logan the Texan in the building. Well, howdy to you as well. Appreciate you joining me here as we take you through our Game 5 preview, getting you ready for the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Golden State Warriors as they look to avoid elimination tonight. The Mavericks coming off a 10-point win in Game 4, 119-109, where they hit 23 pointers in the game. Luka Doncic and company were able to avoid the sweep at the hands of the Golden State Warriors. Guys like Dorian, Finney, Smith, Maxi Kleber, and Reggie Bullock combined to go 12 of 20 from the three-point line in Game 4, unlike how they did in Game 3, where they were just 2 of 17 combined from the three-point line. You're going to need huge performances from everyone, including inside the Chase Center when it comes to Maxi Kleber, Dorian Finney-Smith, and also Reggie Bullock. 105.3 The Fan. Yeah, look, yeah, KG's in the building, man. Yeah, we're getting you ready right here on 105.3 The Fan here on YouTube. We've been trying to do a little bit more in terms of our interaction with you guys, not only on social media, but also here on, obviously, 105.3 The Fan here on YouTube, as we get you ready for the Western Conference game number 5 as far as these playoffs are concerned. So again, if you're in our YouTube chat room, make sure you're smashing that like button to let everybody know that we're in here talking all things Mavericks basketball before Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. If you got a prediction of how things will go tonight, drop that in our chat room as well. We'll get to it as far as what you've got to say tonight going into game number 5. So let's reset here. The Golden State Warriors looking to reach the Western Conference, reach the NBA Finals for the 6th time in 8 years. The Dallas Mavericks trying to avoid elimination. They finally used their style of basketball for most of 4 quarters in game number 4 to avoid the sweep. You didn't like the way that they ended the 4th quarter, obviously, with the Golden State Warriors bench playing extremely well in the 4th quarter, scoring 39 points, 32 of those coming from the bench of the Golden State Warriors. But at the same time, the Mavericks were able to hold on to be able to get the win in Game 4 to force a Game 5 and hopefully force a Game 6 on Saturday back at the American Airlines Center. From Pedro Ramirez in our 105.3 The Fan YouTube chat room. The Mavs win today, we win the series. Mavs lose today, we lose the series. Facts. It's funny you say that, because if you listen to Sean and RJ this morning on 105.3 The Fan, which can be heard every day, Monday through Friday, 5:30 to 10 a.m. on your home with the Cowboys and Texas Rangers, they discussed that as well, that if the Mavericks won tonight, at least for Choppy and for Troy Hughes, they felt like the Mavericks would win the series. Now, Sean was not ready to go that far, and understandably so, given how these games have gone so far throughout the course of this series. But here's what I will say. Don't let the Mavericks win Game 5 tonight, because then all bets are off at that point when it comes to how this series and the shape of what this series will look like going forward. Because if you're the Golden State Warriors, you don't want to play around with your food anymore. You want to get the Dallas Mavericks out of here as quickly as you can. They probably could have done it in Game 4. For some reason, they decided to play, Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody a little bit more than what we probably expected them to play, especially in their first half. And then, of course, they thought that they were waving the white flag in the 4th quarter, but then the bench of the Golden State Warriors really brought them back into the game. They cut a 29-point lead down to 8 and they forced the Golden State Warriors to put their starters back in when it came to Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry. Again, the Mavericks were ultimately able to hang on for the Game 4 win by 10 to force this Game 5 tonight. But if you win Game 5, if you're the Dallas Mavericks, now you're putting that much more pressure on Golden State to close this thing out. Now, here's what I will say about tonight. The Dallas Mavericks are trying to do something that hasn't been done in this postseason, which is win a road game inside of the Chase Center. No one in this postseason in the Western Conference has won inside Chase Center this NBA playoffs. They will need to do that at least twice to be able to win this series, and they will have to do so starting tonight in Game 5. And obviously, if they do find a way to win Game 5 and then Game 6 back here in Dallas, they would need to win again in that building in a decisive Game 7. So it is a uphill mountain to climb if you're the Mavericks, but at the same time, you like what they've done on the road. Yes, I know those were closeout games in Game 6 in Utah and then in Game 7 on the road in Phoenix. But the whole point of that statement is they're not afraid to win on the road, and they're capable of winning on the road. In fact, you can go back to just Game 2 of this series when they were up by 19 points with about 2:28 left in that second quarter there, and then things turned around for the Golden State Warriors, not only at the end of that first half, but also obviously into the third quarter. If the Mavericks can be able to sustain what they were doing, not only in Game 4, but you go back to Game 2, where they were knocking down three-pointers, attacking Andrew Wiggins and Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson one-on-one, they can be able to do some really nice things against this Golden State Warriors defense, who's thrown a lot of different looks at Luka Doncic. And obviously with this offense that the Mavericks tries to bring, they've thrown a lot of box and 1, 2-3 zone. Obviously, when it comes to, matchup zones, they've done a lot of different things to try and throw off the timing of this Mavericks offense. But if the Mavericks can solve it and be able to handle their business, they're going to put themselves in position to possibly do what they did on in Game 4 to handle their business going into Game 5 tonight. So look, it's going to be interesting. I see the comment here. I don't know if it's necessarily obvious. Look, even if the Mavericks win Game 5 tonight, I would be hard pressed to see them winning this series overall. While it would be an obvious confidence boost to win a game on the road in Golden State, you still got to win 2 more games, and one of those being on the road again in Game 7. It's an extremely tall order, and there's a reason why no team in NBA history has won when being down 3-0. Even if you get back into the series, the amount of emotional and physical and mental energy to get yourself even to the point where you force a Game 7 takes a toll on you. So even if you're able to get it to a Game 7, it will be extremely difficult for this team to be able to win a Game 7 on the road. Not to say that it couldn't possibly happen, because you never know. We've never seen this happen before, but we'll see if the Mavericks can possibly pull it off. But I know it's cliche to say, but it's true when you get to these situations. It's literally one play, one possession, one quarter at a time, and try to string 4 quarters of quality basketball together to give you the best opportunity to try and win a game like this. And the Mavericks will need to do that in Game 5 tonight. We'll get into some keys to victory and some different things that they do need to do X's and O's wise to win tonight. But the overarching theme for Game 5 is to survive and advance. However and whatever you need to do to win this game, if you're the Mavericks, you need to find a way to do it. And if you can, now we're talking about something completely different when it comes to this series. But until that happens, you've got to be able to find a way to do what you have to do to win this game. It's Mavs Report live right here on 105 Through the Fan here on YouTube. My name is Kevin Gray, Mavericks Insider for 105 Through the Fan. You can find me on Twitter at Kevin Gray Sports. Again, be sure to subscribe to 105 Through the Fan here on YouTube. It's our Mavericks Warriors Western Conference Game 5 preview. Can Luka Doncic and company avoid elimination tonight? We mentioned it a little bit earlier. This team is 3-0 so far this postseason in elimination games. Luka Doncic in 5 career elimination games, averaging over 38 points per game. Some of the other numbers, when you look at the Mavericks and how they shot the ball from the 3-point line, 20-3 over the course of this season when they make at least 17 3-pointers. They're 6-2 this postseason alone when they make at least 17 3-pointers. They've got to knock down shots from the outside tonight to give them the best opportunity to win. If they can do that, they're going to put themselves in a really good spot to possibly steal Game 5 on the road. If not, and they have the cold shooting night that they did in Game 3, even despite the good defense that they played, only allowing 109 points to the Golden State Warriors in Game 3, it won't matter because they will not be able to sustain the kind of offense needed to deal with a Golden State Warrior team that could come at you at so many different ways and stretch you out in such extreme ways on the offensive end. You've got to be able to make shots and do so early and often in Game 5 to give yourself confidence that you can sustain some of that going throughout the rest of the ball game. You remember back to Game 2 in Golden State, where the Dallas Mavericks shot 15 of 27 from the three-point line in that first half. Just an absurd shooting amount that they were putting up from the three-point line. I'm not saying they need to hit 15 three-pointers in the first half. Obviously, you want to see them balance the course of their shot making throughout the course of these 4 quarters tonight, but you've got to get a similar shooting performance throughout the entirety of Game 5 to give you confidence that this team can be able to put the kind of possessions together consistently over and over again to be able to win a game like this. If you're in our 105 Through the Fan YouTube chat room, make sure that you're smashing that like button right there so that you can get that video out there. Let everybody know that we're talking Mavs basketball going into game number 5 tonight right here on 105 Through the Fan here on YouTube. So look, the Dallas Mavericks have a tall order ahead of them tonight, but here's some things that they can do that has been successful for them in this series so far. Let's start on the offensive end. On the offensive end, this team can continue to attack the rim. One of the interesting points going into tonight's game is your man Scott Foster is the lead official tonight for the officiating crew going into Game 5. Make this officiating crew be able to make calls by forcing the issue at the rim. Jalen Brunson, Luka Doncic, Spencer Dinwiddie, all of these guys who are capable of taking the ball at the rim, being able to finish. They'll need to continue to do that because when they introduce Kevon Looney into those actions, whether it be in those screen and roll situations, those pick and roll situations, he's done extremely well against them. Whomever is having Stephen Curry guard them, whether it's Reggie Bullock, whether it's Dorian Finney-Smith, they're going to have to play well as far as not only being able to make plays out of those screen and rolls and those short rolls when they have the opportunities to, but they've got to be willing to take those shots when they have the ability to do so. Reggie Bullock has a much quicker trigger when it comes to the three-point line. He is much better in that screen and roll situation if Stephen Curry is on him because he can leak out and get that shot up a little bit quicker than Dorian Finney-Smith. But whomever Stephen Curry is guarding, they've got to be able to make plays, not only shooting the ball from the three-point line, but making some plays in those short roll situations to be able to make plays for themselves and for teammates. And it's incumbent on that player movement for the Dallas Mavericks to make things happen, making sure that all their movements are going toward the rim and being able to not only get plays at the rim, but also be able to kick the ball out for guys who are going to be open in the corners. One of the fascinating aspects of Game 4 when it came to their three-point shooting, the Dallas Mavericks were 9 of 18 from the corners in game number 4 from the three-point line. That means Dorian Finney-Smith, Reggie Bullock, and Maxi Kleber were on fire from the corners. If they can do something similar tonight in game number 5, they're going to give themselves a good opportunity to win this game. But they've got to make plays when they have the opportunities to do so. And one of the good things, we talked about Dorian Finney-Smith, if he's got Stephen Curry on him as well, he had a really nice game with 9 of 13 from the field when you look at his total numbers going out of game number 4. And one of the things I loved most about his game in game 4 was he was willing to attack closeouts and do so with confidence and aggression to finish at the rim. He's going to have to do similar things tonight in game number 5 to be able to make some of those plays and be able to finish through contact at the rim. And I saw that in game 4 with his ability to do so. If he can do that, that's just another added dimension to this offense that the Warriors will have to account for in their abilities to defend what the Mavericks are doing offensively. So there's several things that the Mavericks can do. Attack the rim relentlessly throughout the course of this game, being able to knock down corner three-pointers just like they did in game 4, but also have the ability without the basketball to move without the ball, just like how you saw Luka Doncic, for example, in game 4. Him and Frank Ntilikina had a beautiful give and go in game 4. These guys are capable of moving without the ball. You cannot be stationary against this Warriors defense. You've got to make them participate. And if you can, specifically Stephen Curry, and make him participate on defense, now you're wearing this team down when it comes to making them work on the defensive end. We know that Stephen Curry is going to run through screens, pin downs, flare screens. They're going to do a lot of things to create a lot of movement on the offensive end. Make them participate with that same movement on the defensive end to try and wear this team out as the course of a ball game goes on. Klay Thompson has not been great in the first halves of this series so far. He's kind of allowed the game to come to him throughout the course of this series. I expect him to be much more involved early on in game 5 to try and get his rhythm going. We know what they're going to do with Stephen Curry, with him running off of a bunch of screens and all the movement, his dribble penetration, his ability to finish at the rim. We all know what he's going to do. But the guy that I'm going to be watching for tonight, especially how the Mavericks defend him, is Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins has found a measure of aggressiveness in this series that I think has been even more stark than what it was during the regular season. He has continuously attacked Luka Doncic, whether it be in the post, whether it be attacking off the dribble. He's playing with the kind of confidence right now that really makes things difficult for the Mavericks to defend, because you obviously have to account for Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. You don't have to worry about Draymond Green offensively. But when Andrew Wiggins is attacking and is aggressive, that really adds another dimension to what the Golden State Warriors can do offensively, because they're so predicated on ball movement and player movement. His willingness to attack and then make plays off of those attacks is really what can help the Golden State Warriors sustain offense. And then Kevon Looney, we know that he's been good at really good at pick and roll situations. When the Mavericks had decided to blitz Stephen Curry to try and get the ball out of his hands, and they are having Kevon Looney participate as a screen and a roller, he's been able to make plays out of that short roll as well, not just for himself and getting easy buckets at the rim, because he's a good enough ball handler at his size to be able to control himself to finish at the rim. But he's been making plays for his teammates as well. And again, it's that player movement with guys constantly cutting to the rim, guys constantly moving to try and get themselves in the best position to make things happen at the rim. The Golden State Warriors have been really good at that throughout the course of this series. The Mavericks will need to contain that when it comes to their abilities to defend the Golden State Warriors tonight in game number 5. Again, it's the Mavs Report live right here on 105 through the Fan. My name is Kevin Gray, Mavericks Insider for 105 through the Fan. It is our Mavericks Warriors Western Conference Game 5 preview right here on our Fan YouTube channel. Can Luka Doncic and company avoid elimination tonight? Make sure you're hitting that like button if you're in our Mavs YouTube chat room. Make sure that you are hitting that like button there right here on 105.3 The Fan. Conversely, if you're the Golden State Warriors tonight, what you have to continue to do is attack the rim, and more importantly, your ball movement and your player movement continue to be the energy that's utilized on the offensive end. And if you're Jordan Poole and the Golden State Warriors, you're wanting to get the kinds of shots from the outside that you're accustomed to getting. If you're the Mavericks, you've got to run Jordan Poole and these guys off of the three-point line, make them take more difficult shots in the mid-range, and to get them out of their comfort zones. Because if they start to get into rhythm, I'm talking about, the Jordan Pooles of the world and what other guys are able to do, then they are devastating when it comes to their offensive abilities. We know what Stephen Curry is going to do for the most part. Try to make things as tough on him as possible. Reggie Bullock endorsing, introducing, I should say, physicality to, Stephen Curry. You've got to be able to get these guys off their spots. Otherwise, if you don't and you let them get comfortable, they're going to make things tough on you when it comes to their ability to make shots in this game. When you look at game number 4, Andrew Wiggins went 5 of 11 from the field, only had 13 points, probably one of his worst games of this series. Obviously, Draymond Green is not going to do much offensively, but he was 4 of 8 from the field. But Stephen Curry, you held him to 7 of 16 shooting, and he had 20 points in the game. Klay Thompson, just 50%. He was 5 of 10, but only took 10 shots in the game. Then you can look at Jordan Poole. He went 50%, but again, only 10 shots. Being able to stifle this team when it comes to their offenses, that's what you'll need to do if you're the Dallas Mavericks tonight going into game 5. Make it as tough as possible on these shooters to be able to get the kind of comfortable shots that they're accustomed to getting within Steve Kerr's offense. But look, all the X's and O's, all the things that we talk about from a strategic standpoint, from a schematic standpoint, this comes down to, for the Mavericks, how badly do you want to save your season once again? You saw it in game 4. They came out aggressive. They came out attacking the rim. This team knows that they cannot be guarded one-on-one. Jason Kidd said it after game 4. The Mavericks know that the Golden State Warriors in one-on-one situations, they can't guard them. I think of the best example in game 4, Jalen Brunson on the very first play of the game attacks Steph Curry, finishes it at the rim, gets an and one, gets the free throw, and you're off to the races from there when you're setting that tone and that mindset. If you're the Mavericks, do the same thing again. You're the team that isn't favored to win, that's not supposed to win this series, that's not supposed to win game 5. Everyone is expecting for the Warriors to come out and blow the doors off the Dallas Mavericks. Could that possibly happen tonight? Sure it can. This team is undefeated in the postseason in the NBA playoffs at home this postseason. So if you're the Mavericks, you play with a ton of confidence. You play in there loose, you play fast, and you give this home crowd a reason in Golden State to not be in it. If you could take the crowd out of this game early on, you're going to give yourself a really good opportunity to be able to win this game. But again, this is about securing defensive rebounds, not allowing second chance points in offensive rebounds for the Golden State Warriors, who have been devastating this series when it comes to their ability to rebound the basketball, especially on the offensive glass, whether it be Andrew Wiggins, Kevon Looney, Draymond Green. You've got to keep them off the offensive glass. And for the first time in the series in game number 4, the Dallas Mavericks actually won the rebounding margin. They out-rebounded the Golden State Warriors 45-42 in game 4. You got to have more of the same when it comes to their ability to rebound the basketball. If you can, you're going to find yourself in this game. For Mr. Bolton here, Jalen Brunson will get exposed tonight. Well, he hasn't been exposed throughout the course of these playoffs, even with the adjustments that the Phoenix Suns made early on in that series to try and introduce length and physicality to Jalen Brunson. He was able to adjust as the series went on. And when you look at the Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry has not been able to really guard him. Obviously, they have length with guys like, Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole and others. But Jalen Brunson's been fine. You look at what he did in game number 4. He had 15 points on 5 of 12 shooting, went 1 of 2 from the three-point line. Jalen Brunson's going to be fine, and he's going to find a way to get to the rim and do what he's done best this season, especially this postseason. Probably the breakout star of the NBA playoffs has been Jalen Brunson. So that means he will be able to be ready tonight, I think, going forward. Let's see here. If you're in our 105 Through the Fan YouTube chat room, make sure you're smashing that like button. It is Mavs Report Live right here on 105 Through the Fan here on YouTube. Again, my name is Kevin Gray, Mavericks Insider for 105 Through the Fan. Give me a follow on Twitter at Kevin Gray Sports. From Cash Money here in our YouTube chat room, my 2 key things to steal this game. Number 1, make Steph beat you, but don't allow others to get hot like Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, etc. 2, shooting efficiency for the Mavericks. Yeah, you got to be efficient with the shots that you have. They had 30 assists on the 41 field goals that they made, shooting 50% overall from the field, nearly 47% from the three-point line. Got to be efficient with your opportunities. And obviously, you're not going to stop Stephen Curry, but you've got to make things as tough on him as possible and not allow the other guys to get involved early on to get their confidence up to be able to try and run away with this thing within the first 5 to 7 minutes of this ball game. From AJ, hey, KG, do you think we will see more attack in the paint like game 4 and not just shooting threes? I mean, it's about balance, AJ. It's about balance in this team's ability to not only get to the rim, but also take efficient three-point shots. We were talking about earlier, this team went 9 of 18 from the corners on the three-point line in game 4. Those are the types of efficient three-pointers that this team is capable of when it comes to Dorian, Finney-Smith, Bullock, Maxi Kleber. They're going to have to be hot and hot early to really give this team. You want to see what they did against the Phoenix Suns in game number 7 on the road, knocking down shots, shooting in rhythm, playing with a ton of confidence, and playing loose and free. That gives them the best chance to let it all hang out. And let's see what happens in game number 5 tonight. But yeah, it's got to be balance struck when it comes to attacking the paint, finishing at the rim, forcing these officials to make some calls tonight. As I mentioned, Scott Foster, the lead official tonight for game 5 on the road in San Francisco, introduce a measure of physicality that tells Golden State, look, we're not just happy to be here because we forced a game 5. We're here to try to win this game. And it's going to be up to this team to set the tone early on about how aggressive they want to be getting to the rim to ensure that they are the ones being the aggressors and being constantly in attack mode and relentlessly getting into the paint. That has to be the key tonight. Relentlessly get into the paint, whether it be to finish at the rim, kick it out to shooters, attack these zones, and then be able to put themselves in position to guys to knock down shots in this game. From Cash Money A, the extender, talking about Scott Foster as the lead official. Yes, Scott Foster is the lead official tonight in Game 5 against for the Mavericks and the Golden State Warriors. Let's hear from Brandon Bell. We need Dinwiddie to be hot today. I agree with you. Spencer Dinwiddie's got to show up big tonight. Look, all of these guys got to show up big tonight. When you're trying to do what the Mavericks are trying to do is you've got to have everyone show up and perform. And Spencer Dinwiddie, who had 10 points in Game 4, wasn't necessarily great, hit a couple of three-pointers, but he's got to be on the money tonight, especially leading that second unit for the Dallas Mavericks to be able to have a chance to win this game. Let's see here. Gold Leo, Dallas on the money line in the first half. I got a feeling. All right. From Cleveland, Mavs should drive if there's a hard closeout on the three-point attempt. Yeah, definitely have to do so if they're capable of doing it. From Cowboy, appreciate the super chat in here. Let's go Mavs. Appreciate the super chat. And he says, let's go Mavs. Hey, I like the energy and appreciate you dropping that super chat here on 105.3 The Fan. Again, it is Mavs Report live right here on 105.3 The Fan here on YouTube. Our Mavericks Warriors Western Conference Game 5 preview. Can Luka Doncic and company avoid elimination tonight? Again, smash that like button if you're in our Mavs YouTube chat room right here on 105.3 The Fan. Hit that like button and let everybody know we're talking some Mavericks basketball ahead of game number 5 tonight in San Francisco as the Mavericks look to avoid elimination. But yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie in this bench unit have to be really good tonight, and they have to put themselves in a position to be able to match the bench energy from the Golden State Warriors, who have been really good throughout the course of this postseason when it comes to their guys coming off the bench. From AJ, if they lose, which I sure hope not, is this a season a success? Massive success. My expectation for this team coming into this year was win a first-round series. Their team was good enough. Their progression was good enough to be able to be confident that they can win a first-round series. Anything after that was absolute gravy. They went on the road and defeated the Utah Jazz in 6 games. Then they upset the Phoenix Suns, who had the best record in the league, cleared by 8 games of the next best team in the league, went on the road in Game 7 and absolutely destroyed the Phoenix Suns on the road. Everything after the Utah series was gravy to me. And the fact that they're in the Western Conference Finals ahead of schedule and now having an opportunity to try and extend this series, you give the Mavericks a ton of credit. They won 52 games this year, the most that Jason Kidd has ever won as a head coach in this league. They have done everything and more to exceed the expectations of what they were going to be doing coming into this regular season. Again, I thought that they were capable of winning 50 games. I predicted they would win 50 games. I thought this team would win a first-round series in a tough Western Conference. They did that, and they were able to now go on this surprise run to the Western Conference Finals. I'm glad that they didn't get swept. They earned the right not to be swept, I felt, in my opinion, based on the way that they played this year. And now everything that they've done this season has been a massive success. The question now is, AJ, how do they build on this going forward? Not resting on your laurels. If you're the Dallas Mavericks, you've got a chance with a championship window that is now open to really put the pressure on this organization to make sure that they are doing everything that they can to continue to win big and win big going into the future, because now they have a 23-year-old superstar in Luka Doncic, who's now first-team All-NBA for the 3rd consecutive year in his first 4 seasons. It's kind of insane on how good that kid is and what he's been able to do. But the Mavericks have that open now when it comes to their championship window. Again, appreciate you joining me right here on 105.3 The Fan here on YouTube. My name is Kevin Gray, Mavericks Insider for 105.3 The Fan. Make sure you're smashing that like button. We're getting you ready for Game 5 tonight between the Dallas Mavericks and the Golden State Warriors as they look to extend their series, do the Dallas Mavericks when it comes to the Western Conference Finals. Again, we appreciate you joining us here. You can follow me on Twitter at Kevin Gray Sports. Let's see here as we go into our Mavs YouTube chat room here on 105.3 The Fan. Dorian can't play like he is scared to put the ball on the floor. Dorian, Reggie, and Maxey have to put the ball on the floor. Dorian did a great job of that in game 4 that I thought. From Ethan, 3 wins. That's all we need, but easier said than done in the NBA. Agree there. Obviously a tough road ahead for this Mavericks team, but they have a chance to do it and try to make some history. Let's see here. Cleveland, in the offseason, what position would be of great need? Center. You got to upgrade the center spot for this team. Again, I know that Dwight Powell's been a leader on this team for a long time. He's done a lot of terrific work for this team. Has been a really, really good, leader on this team, community guy. They've got to upgrade the center spot. Got to upgrade the center spot if they want to win deep into the future that they think that they're capable of. They got to upgrade the center spot in my mind. From Edison Pierce, Maz and 7. All right. From Jason Earl, was not obtaining a big at the deadline a mistake after dealing Kristaps Porzingis? No, the biggest thing was getting Kristaps Porzingis contract off the books, splitting that contract in half with a couple of players, but more importantly, trying to start opening up flexibility by getting that albatross of a contract off of your books. And that's exactly what they were able to accomplish with getting rid of Kristaps Porzingis. They weren't necessarily going to be looking to try and get a big man based on what they had done already at the deadline. Now, hopefully this offseason, they could try to make something happen via trade. Is going to be difficult, but because this team is already going to be in the luxury tax. Luka Doncic's rookie max extension kicks in at the beginning of this upcoming year. Jalen Brunson, who I think is going to be back on this team, they're going to be putting themselves in position to sign him, make an aggressive offer to keep him. So they're going to be in the luxury tax going into the upcoming NBA season. So they've got to make something happen via trade, most likely, because they're going to be hard capped to be able to try to bring in free agents when it comes to their ability to sign guys, maybe some sign-in trades, that kind of thing that they'll have to work on this offseason. Let's see here. From LL, let's win this game and get it back to Dallas. Like the energy. Appreciate that. Let's see here from Cash Money. Last question for me. Can you ask Luka when Luka wants to drop and needs some as soon as possible? But he deserves that shoe deal and more. And look, man, you might have to ask him yourself because he's not going to give me a hookup either. From Ethan, you said we need to upgrade the center position. What about Ayton if the Suns are done with him? Could we afford him? Here's the thing about Deandre Ayton. He's a restricted free agent. So if you make him a contract offer, the Suns can match it. So I don't know if the Mavericks will be able to be in a position to really go after DeAndre Ayton. As we mentioned, they're going to be hard capped, obviously, with the contracts that they have kicking in with, Luka Doncic. They're going to bring back Jalen Brunson, in my opinion. You still got Tim Hardaway Jr. on the books. You still got Spencer Dinwiddie on the books for another year. There's going to be a lot of different decisions they have to make financially, whether it be with Maxi Kleber, Trey Burke, Dwight Powell. Dwight Powell getting paid over $10 million a year. They got to figure out a way to get themselves in position to create some flexibility, whether it be sign and trade, trading for players, but signing guys outright is going to be difficult when it comes to what the Mavericks need to do from that standpoint this offseason. Let's see here. What do you think the over-under 215 in this game? Well, let's see here. I mean, it was 218 in game 4, so it's not out of the realm of possibility when it comes to that over-under there. So just take that for what it is. For Brandon Bell, Miles Turner. Yeah, Miles Turner is a name that I like as well. But the Pacers, talking with Mark Stein, on Spotify Live, he's like, look, the Indiana Pacers are in a position where they want to keep Miles Turner. And it's going to have to take a heck of an offer to pry him out of Indiana. Now, do the Mavericks have the kind of assets to be able to do that? That depends on what you're willing to give up. But at the same time, the Pacers, after they traded away Domantas Sabonis, they may be hard-pressed to want to get rid of Miles Turner, given what they have left in their big man situation, there. Let's see, Gold Leo. These two teams love to shoot a lot of threes. They do, especially the Dallas Mavericks. They made 20 of them in game number 4. They're going to need to make a bunch of them tonight to try and win tonight as well. Again, my name is Kevin Gray, Mavericks Insider for 105 The Fan. Make sure you're smashing that like button right here on our YouTube channel for this video. Mavs Report Live, Mavericks Warriors Western Conference Game 5 preview. Can Luka Doncic and company avoid elimination tonight? From Wow Wim Tim. Do you think the Mavs could take a swing and trade for Kevin Durant? Sounds like he's not happy with the Nets. I like the energy, like the question. Kevin Durant not coming to the Dallas Mavericks. Love the energy, though. He's not coming here. Cowboys, should the Mavs sign Kevin Love as a stopgap until the Mavs can get a 4 or a 5? There aren't many options for the Mavs. No, not at this point in Kevin Love's career. The money that you would need to spend to acquire him, I'm not necessarily for that as far as Kevin Love is concerned. Now, if this was Kevin Love, maybe, several years ago, yeah, but not now. Let's see, from Otis Tucker Sr., what about Mo Bamba on this team? Nah, I get the allure. I don't think so. You got to have a guy a little bit better defensively. I want an established veteran on this team, and whether it's a Gobert, maybe a Mitchell Robinson, maybe, we're talking about a Miles Turner. We're talking about some of those names. Bamba, I'm not necessarily high on when it comes to him being part of the Mavericks. Let's see here. Let's see, from Uncle's Lomo 72. Let's call Houston for Christian Wood. Look, good player, good center. He's part of their future, what they're trying to rebuild down there with Steven Silas and the Rockets. Ethan, I think the Mavs win if we get 6 players in double-figure scoring. Yeah, you're going to need a bunch of guys in double figures. Everybody's got to come with Luka Doncic tonight. Everybody's got to come with him, and if they can, they're going to have a chance to win this game. So it is what it is. But, yeah, you're right. Got to have a bunch of guys in double figures to try and win this game tonight. It is Mavs Report Live right here on 105 through the Fan. Again, my name is Kevin Gray, Mavericks Insider. For 105 through the Fan here on YouTube, our Mavericks Warriors Western Conference Game 5 preview. Can Luka Doncic and company avoid elimination? Make sure you're smashing that like button. If you're in our Mavs YouTube chat room, make sure that you're hitting that like button right here on 105 through the Fan. Appreciate you joining me here. You can follow me on Twitter at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to give me a follow there, as I got you covered for all things for your Dallas Mavericks. Again, appreciate you joining us, however, and wherever you may be, as we get you ready for game number 5 tonight between the Mavericks and the Golden State Warriors. Let's see here in our Mavs YouTube chat room as we get you caught up here. Let's see here from LL with THJ the way to the finale. He's getting closer. He's not going to play in this postseason, but he's getting healthier by the day. So that's a great sign for the Dallas Mavericks going into his future about what he can potentially be going forward as a part of this roster going into the future for the Mavericks. Let's hear from Cash Money. I really do think with this Mavericks run in the playoffs, it will help attract free agents and believe they can be that Robin for Luka. I agree with you. I think the perception of the Mavericks has definitely changed this postseason around the league, the way that teams will view this team, how people around the league view the Dallas Mavericks, the championship window that I believe is now open. But unfortunately, with the situation that they're in financially, it's going to be difficult for them to acquire free agents. Not that, free agents wouldn't want to come here, but I don't think you'll have a situation where, a Jimmy Butler likes to force his way to Miami, even with their, salary cap situation. I don't see anyone forcing their way to Dallas in that way. They've got to get creative to find trade partners to be able to make things happen, or try to do something in terms of a sign and trade to be able to make things happen there. Because again, they're going to be in the luxury tax. They're going to pay Jalen Brunson. They have his bird rights. They're going to pay him. They got Luka Doncic's rookie max extension kicking in. They've got some things they got to make decision wise when it comes to their salary cap situation this summer. Let's see here. From Comedic Center Living here, wouldn't a big man affect their switching defense too slow a foot? Well, here's the thing about getting a quality big man, especially, let's just use Rudy Gobert, for example. Rudy Gobert is really good on defending in the perimeter. And the biggest gripe that he has is that he's always cleaning up the mess of Royce O'Neal and Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley because they can't guard anybody on the perimeter. He wouldn't have that problem here in Dallas. You look at what Reggie Bullock and what they do defensively. The Mavericks have guys that can defend when it comes to, Bullock, Dorian, Finney Smith. They can defend on the perimeter. So now a guy like Rudy Gobert can camp out in the lane, patrol the lane, be that shot blocker, that rim protector, that guy that cleans up on the boards. That's the kind of guy that you're talking about. Even Deandre Ayton, who can play and drop coverage. All of these things are done because the Mavericks defensively are much better than what other guys have around the league. And I think that would work here. That's why you need a guy who is as versatile, on the defensive end as a Gobert, a Deandre Ayton to a lesser degree, obviously a Miles Turner who can block shots and hit shots from the three-point line and extend teams on the offensive end. Those are the kinds of athletic type of centers that you would want. We say, Kevin, with Rudy Gobert, you talk about their salary cap situation. If you trade for Rudy Gobert, you're going to be having another max player on this team. And I understand that. But sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit. And if that means trying to get a Rudy Gobert, then you need to try and do so for this team. So we'll see if that's the case going forward, into the summer. But great question there. Appreciate that in our Mavs YouTube chat room. Again, my name is Kevin Gray, Mavericks Insider for 105 Through the Fan. Make sure you're subscribing to 105 Through the Fan here on YouTube. Smash that like button if you're in our YouTube chat room, and let everybody know we're talking Mavericks basketball going into game number 5 tonight. Can the Mavericks stave off elimination against the Golden State Warriors? There's going to be plenty of time for free agency talk throughout the course of this offseason. Obviously, a busy summer for this Mavericks team as they're looking trying to upgrade their roster and what they need to do to improve their team going into the summer. But look, tonight, the Mavericks have one job and one job only. Find a way to win by hook or by crook. Find a way to survive and advance tonight against the Golden State Warriors. If you can, you get this thing back to Dallas. You get yourself an opportunity in game 6 to try and win another game in front of that home crowd and give yourself a chance to possibly get this thing to 7 games. But none of that can happen unless you find a way to win. Knock down your open shots, relentlessly attack the rim, put pressure on Golden State offensively by getting into them, not allowing any airspace, run their guys off the three-point line as much as you can, and defend without fouling, and find a way offensively to get some things going when it comes to their ability to handle you on the offensive end. If they can, the Mavericks are going to give themselves a good shot to win tonight's game. But again, it's going to take a real big performance from the three-point line. If they can do that, just like they did in game 2, where they raced out to that 19-point lead, obviously they ultimately gave it up in the third quarter. If they can do that like they did in game 4, where they were able to knock down 23-pointers and balance that throughout the course of a game, the Mavericks are going to find themselves in it. Will they ultimately win? I don't know, but they have the formula to be able to do it, to be able to find a way to walk out of San Francisco with a win, where, again, the Golden State Warriors have not lost a postseason game at home this year. Let's see here from Eugene Johnson. We win if, number 1, we make open shots. Number 2, play defense. Number 3, rebound. Number 4, win 50-50 balls. It's that simple. Well, it's easy to say, but it's a much harder thing to get it done. And that's what the Mavericks are going to have to do. Every single thing that they do has to be about winning basketball plays, 50-50 balls, loose balls, winning the rebounding margin, trying to find a way to team rebound, keeping the Golden State Warriors off the offensive glass. If they can do those things, then they could possibly win tonight's game. Let's see here. From Comedic Center Living, who shows up with Luka? The one guy that I want to see show up tonight, because we talked about Dorian Finney-Smith and Bullock and Maxi Kleber. We know those guys have to show up. And I've said his name all postseason long. It's Spencer Dinwiddie. You acquired Spencer Dinwiddie for a reason. It's for moments like this. You saw what he did in game 7 on the road against the Phoenix Suns. You got to have something similar tonight. It's going to take a Herculean effort by this team. I know that they're tired. They've played over 100 games this season when you count the preseason as well. Reggie Bullock and Dorian Finney-Smith are leading the NBA in playoff minutes this postseason. These guys are exhausted, but at the same time, they know what they're capable of and what they need to do to try and find a way to win tonight's game. They'll need to do that and more going into tonight. Let's see here. Yeah, the Mavs margin for error is small. It's basically none. And that's been one of the themes of this series, is that Golden State puts so much pressure on you on both ends of the floor that the margin for error and the margins are so thin when it comes to trying to beat this team. It's very difficult to beat this team when you're making mistakes and having self-inflicted wounds when it comes to your offensive and defensive execution. You cannot do that against the Golden State Warriors. They are too good, they're too disciplined, and they're too well coached for you to make mistakes and think that you're going to get away with it. You can't do it, especially in game 5 tonight. Let's see here from Eugene Johnson. Yeah, Dinwiddie needs to show up. From VIP Me in Europe. Yep, let's believe to the end. Got you there. Agreed. Spencer Dinwiddie's got to show up. Agreed there. For Cash Money, if the Mavericks do win, tell Skywalker still I'm coming for him. He solely believed this thing was done in 4. Hey, if the Mavericks find a way to extend this thing to 6 games, I think a lot of people will have a lot of things to say about what's happened so far throughout the course of this series. Let's see here. From Knicks. Can Dwight find a way to be effective again? He needs to match Looney and bring back the alley-oops from Luka. Look, it's going to be tough. Look, Dwight Powell, we know that he's good in the screen and roll stuff, the rim running. He's really good at that. He's just a liability on the defensive end, and it's very hard to keep him on the floor throughout the course of a ball game. And there's a reason why he only played 11 minutes and 45 seconds in game 4. He's really been a placeholder until you can get Maxi Kleber onto the floor because he's not a guy in Kleber that's going to play 35 to 40 minutes on a given night. So you got to find minutes to spell, Maxi Kleber. Dwight Powell can do that. But what he can do is he can bring energy. He can bring hustle. He can get you a rebound or 2 every now and then on a loose ball, that kind of thing. They need him to contribute. They're not going to win this game without him contributing, and he'll need to find a way to contribute and make some kind of impact, small or big, in a game like this. Again, all hands have to be on deck in this kind of situation in order for you to win a game on the road in as difficult an environment as you have in Golden State. So we'll see about that. Let's see here. I would like to see Brunson bring the ball up and have the offense ran through Luka in the post. Wouldn't mind seeing some of that either. Love seeing Luka Doncic in the post. He can operate out of the post, make plays out of the post, whether it be passing, whether it be, some fadeaways. He can do a lot of different things out of the post as well. Again, it's Mavs Report live right here on 105 Through the Fan here on YouTube. My name is Kevin Gray, Mavericks Insider for 105 Through the Fan. Make sure you give me a follow on Twitter at Kevin Gray Sports. Make sure you're subscribing to 105 Through the Fan here on YouTube. Really appreciate you guys joining us right here on 105.3 The Fan. Let's see here. Can the Mavs win game 5? Sure, they can win game 5. That's why we're here, right? The Mavericks can definitely win game 5. They have the opportunity to do so. Can they? That's an entirely different question. If they can't, look, it's been a tremendous ride for this team this postseason. If they can win tonight, it's just another thing to add to what has been a fantastic postseason for them up to this point. Let's see here. From Michael Flores. Please release Boban. There is no answer. Looney going off. Give me a break, kid. All kid. Again, I know there's been a lot of people calling for Boban to play in this series and to play in this postseason. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. Unless the Mavericks are winning the game by 45 points, Boban's not playing. Athletically, and it just doesn't work in this series for Boban to match up against the Golden State Warriors. Again, I love Boban as much as anybody. He's not playing in this series. Let's see here. Have Luka play in the high post in the zone. Sucks everyone in. Kick out for threes. You have to get the ball into the middle of the zone. Yeah, got to find a way to attack the zones, whether it be through dribble penetration, player movement. Find a way to make things happen with guys getting the zones to collapse, finding shooters on the outside. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, they were 9 of 18 on corner threes in game number 4. They've got to be able to do something similar in game 5 tonight. From VIP Me Europe, all Mavs players should put everything on the court and on the bench in every game. Only with such an attitude they can have a chance. Agree with you there. Let's see here from Eugene Johnson. This will be the toughest game of the season to win, but when we pull this game off, we win in the series. Mark my words. A lot of people feel that way. If the Mavericks find a way to steal game 5 on the road, a lot of people feel like this team could win the entire series. But look, you got to crawl before you walk. You got to walk before you run. And you got to find a way by hook or by crook just to win a game in this series on their home floor tonight in game 5. Let's see here from Mr. Bolton here. KG, in my opinion, Gary Payton II, being hurt. The Mavs caught a big break. Otto Porter Jr. getting hurt in the last game. They caught a big break. Yeah, it definitely hurt the bench depth of the Golden State Warriors, but even still, they've got some really talented guys. And I think that was part of the reason why you saw Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga get the significant minutes that they got in game 4 to give them some experience, because they'll need to be counted on at times, whether it be throughout the course of the rest of this series or in the NBA Finals, to be able to make significant contributions for the Golden State Warriors. So, yeah, I think part of that is by getting that experience for them because of the losses of Gary Payton II and Otto Porter Jr. Again, this is Mavs Report live right here on 105 through the Fan. My name is Kevin Gray. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Make sure you give me a follow on Twitter at Kevin Gray Sports. Subscribe to 105 through the Fan here on YouTube, and make sure you're following us on Twitter as well at 1053 the Fan. From Eugene Johnson, facts by hook or by crook, by claw or by paw. Love that. Again, make sure you're smashing that like button. If you're in our Mavs YouTube chat room, smash that like button to get you get you caught up here on 105 through the Fan. Mavs Report live here on our Fan YouTube page. Look, let's get into predictions for tonight. Last few minutes before we get you out of here on this evening to let you enjoy the rest of your evening before game number 5 tonight. It's going to be tough for the Mavericks. I'm not going to lie to you. Game 4 gave me some confidence that this team could find the formula to utilize their formula to win a game against this team. They did it. Can they do it again? That's going to be tough to do in that building. They're undefeated at home this postseason at the Chase Center. The Mavericks will have to win 2 games in that building to win this series. They got to get the first one tonight, obviously. But here's what they can do. Knock down threes, win the 50-50 balls, win the loose ball battle, be able to be close to even as possible in the rebounding margin. I'm not saying they have to win it like they did in game 4, but you got to be as close to even as possible in the rebounding margin, and then find a way for these guys, and Reggie Bullock, Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber, the knockdown three, Spencer Dinwiddie, got to lead that second unit to a big night off the bench. You got to be able to match the bench energy and production of the Golden State Warriors to be able to be in a position to win this game. Let's see here. If Bullock and Smith shoot threes as previous game, we'll win. For Jack Johnson, Brunson, and Dinwiddie got to shoot well to set up everybody else. Yeah, Jalen Brunson knocking down three-pointers is going to be huge in this game as well. If he can knock down open three-pointers, he has a chance to help this team win this game tonight. Let's see here. If the Mavs can win quarter 1 and quarter 3, they win tonight. Mavs by 5 points, 105-100. Their season is a success. Even if they lose, I can't even be mad. Didn't expect him to be here. I think a lot of people feel that way. My Twitter handle is at Kevin Gray Sports, KEVINGRAY Sports. You give me a follow there on Twitter at Kevin Gray Sports. Let's see here. I'm going to need Luka to get 8 or 9 assists tonight. Again, trust and feed the shooters. Yeah, they had 31 assists on 40 made field goals in game number 4, sharing the basketball, getting them an opportunity to be able to knock down shots. If you can do that, share the basketball, move without the ball, you're going to give yourself a chance to win game 5 tonight. VIP Me Europe, thanks, KG, for your work. Appreciate that. Respect. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Let's see here from Arvin. Win or lose, with the way Jalen Brunson is playing in these playoffs, did he play his way out of Dallas's budget next season? No. They have his bird rights, so they can make the kind of offer that will allow him to stay here. I expect them to do that this summer. That's going to be probably the number one storyline for this team this offseason, is how they get Jalen Brunson back into the fold. I believe they will do that, and I believe they will do that as quickly as they can to ensure that he's not getting out to the market when it comes to teams looking to possibly sign him away from the Mavericks. We're talking about teams like Detroit, the Knicks, possibly the Indiana Pacers. There may be another dark horse team that could use a veteran like Orlando. They could use a veteran point guard. Jamal Mosley, obviously, with the ties that he had to the Dallas Mavericks. Jalen Brunson would be a good fit there in what they're trying to do with building with Jalen Suggs and those guys in Orlando. So, yeah, but I do think the Mavericks find a way to handle their business and keep Jalen Brunson going into the future. They love him, and they want to keep him here as well. Let's see here. Are you willing to say that not making the Western Conference next season is a failure? Definitely a step back. Not arguing that. I'm not saying that, if they don't make the Western Conference Finals next year, it's a failure. I think you should expect them to get the potential for them is to get to the Western Conference Finals now, especially if they improve their team going forward. But the expectation now is this is a team that will threaten to win the Western Conference every single year now from this point forward. You've got a budding superstar in Luka Doncic, 3-time first-team All-NBA selection. You've proven that you can beat the best teams in the Western Conference to get you to this position. The expectation now is that this team should threaten to win the Western Conference year after year after year. And if they are, then they will be in position to do so as long as they continue to improve this roster going forward from here. Let's see here. From Prince Moses, it feels like Golden State purposely lost game 4. I'm not convinced Dallas can win tonight. I thought they played with their foot a little bit. Not going to lie to you, in game 4, I will say that. Didn't like the way that the Golden State Warriors handled themselves, playing Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga significant minutes. Definitely thought they played with their foot a little bit, but at the same time, you give the Mavericks credit for taking advantage of the situation and winning. And again, go back to game 2. When the Mavericks were playing the Golden State Warriors at full strength, they were able to get a 19-point lead in that game. They just shot themselves out of it because the Golden State Warriors played a perfect game of rope-a-dope and baited them into continuing to shoot a bunch of three-pointers, and the Mavericks missed them. But the Mavericks are making their shots. They're virtually unbeatable. They got to be able to do that tonight to win the game in game 5. Let's see here from Corey Jackson. Hey, KG, what do you think of Kevin Durant playing alongside Luka? It will be a lot of fun for Kevin Durant to play alongside Luka Doncic. It ain't happening. Love the thought, though. From Gilton, Andrade. Let's see. The pressure is in the Warriors or on the Mavs. Well, the pressure is on the Warriors for the entirety of this series. The Mavericks are playing with house money. There's no pressure on the Mavericks. Jason Kidd will tell you, and he may tell you tonight, there's no pressure on the Mavericks, and it shouldn't be. They weren't favored to win this series. They're not favored to win tonight either. There's no pressure on the Mavericks to win this game. From El Maverick, the three threes each from Maxey, Dinwiddie, Bullock, Dorian, Finney Smith will be the magic number. I like it. It would be game over for the All-NBA if Durant joins the Mavs. Facts. Let's see. From Cowboy, I think God, Sham God, Sweeney, Daryl Armstrong. Yeah. Great point. I appreciate you pointing them out because God, Sham God, player development coach, been great. Sean Sweeney, defensive coordinator, has been great. Daryl Armstrong keeps things loose and fun as one of the assistant coaches of this team. Shout out to them for doing their thing. They've been great all season long. For Mr. Bowlen, trust me, Warriors are going to make the Mavs use all the 24-second shot clock. 7-game series will be exciting, but I don't think they can do anything else that the Warriors have not seen. Yeah, these two teams know each other well. Who wants it more? That's the key tonight. Who wants it more? Who's going to execute more and be able to find a way to get it done tonight? Let's see here. Lastly, from Eugene Johnson, Max needs to stay out of foul trouble tonight and don't hesitate on shooting the ball. He is the key. Yeah, stay out of foul trouble, stay in rhythm early on in this game, knock down shots, play loose, play fun, and give yourself a chance to walk out of Golden State with a win. And, hey, we'll see what happens going into tonight's game. But, look, really appreciate all of you joining me here on the Mavs Report live right here on 105.3 The Fan. Again, make sure you subscribe to 105.3 The Fan here on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter at Kevin Gray Sports. Follow me there. I got you covered for all things for the Dallas Mavericks going into game number 5 tonight. Hopefully they can extend the series and we get to talk a little bit more going into the weekend as the Mavericks hopefully are coming back home for a game 6 on Saturday night. But regardless, this has been a phenomenal year for this team. On 52 games, Western Conference Finals, not expected to be here. Let's see how they fare tonight, and let's see if they let it all hang out with an opportunity to win the game. But if not, it's been a fantastic season and a busy summer for them. The number 26 overall draft pick in the first round of this draft, re-signing Jalen Brunson is going to be a priority. A lot of things they've got going on going forward for the rest of this season and into the offseason. Again, really appreciate all you guys joining me here today on the Mavs Report live right here on 105 Through the Fan here on YouTube. Again, subscribe to 105 Through the Fan here on YouTube. Smash that like button on your way out of the chat room. Really appreciate that. And again, you can follow me on Twitter at Kevin Gray Sports. Eugene, really appreciate the follow. That means a lot to me. Really appreciate that. And I'm going to get out of here for the night. Y'all have a great night. We'll talk to you later. And go Mavs. Y'all have a great evening.